I showed you how I use the air hammer to get the pins loose and up. A little penetrating fluid before that activity sure helped a lot. Now, here's our problem with Corvettes. When the hinge is in place, the pin can't come out all the way because of the fender. So what I did is I took 3 out of the 4 bolts out. That way I'll be able to pull this out and then I'm going to get the hinge out. Now, you're wondering why I don't just pull the hinge, okay? Because hinges can be tough to put back into a line and things like that. You have shims and to make sure that it's an easy job to put back, what I did is I painted it with some scrap paint. So when I go to put it back, it's going to give me a visual, okay, something visual to make sure it goes on, match the blue on the hinge to the blue on the body. The bottom, I'm not going to take off at all. So if there is going to be an adjustment after I put it back together and we hang the doors, it's going to be a minor adjustment instead of a semester project. Removing the pin. It is a two-handed operation. If you look, it has a little indent. And over here, you can see that this is a rust mark. So therefore, this bottom part of the pin fits into a shallow part of the hinge. So what you need to do, hopefully it'll work twice, because it worked for this door, is get this in there and just pry it. And you'll see that this, because the pressure right now is towards us, rusty part towards us. So if you pry it, get my hands out of the way, if you pry it away, okay, it's going to come out of its little notch or cup or whatever it is. Then you can take your screwdriver, a flat screwdriver, and get between the hinge and it. And when you do, the pressure that's pushing it towards us is going to slide on the screwdriver, and the hinge is just, the spring part of the hinge is just going to come right off. Okay, we're going to put the new hinge in. You can get it so far with just your hand. You'll notice there's a little notch up here, and this notch is towards the frame. What I did was I took this guy, okay, and then I pushed towards the center of the car, and then when it was near the car, I took this and I pushed up on it. And by pushing up, it put it in its hole, and you can kind of see it, that it kind of locks into place. So we're set. Good luck with that one, fellas. Passenger side hinge. Started to clean it up. Something that concerned me is this sprocket right here. See how that rivet is loose? What will happen is your door will creak and make snapping noises when you open it and close it. Really tells a tale of how old your car is. I tried giving it a couple a little bit of pressure on this side, but still it got better. But the fact that the sprocket moves is okay. It's this that moves side to side. So wish me luck. I'm gonna put a little tack weld right there, see if I can get that to freeze. There's no room to tappy the top of that bushing and ensure that it's square. So I got this threaded rod I left over from an air cleaner, aftermarket air cleaner, a couple 1/4-inch nuts and washers, and then the socket. So as I slowly tighten it, I'm making sure that the socket is clearing the bushing as it comes down, and I should be okay. Okay, I'm going to press in the bottom bushings. I can do both at the same time because I don't have that interference that I did on top. By the way, the top one's in and it feels solid. New spring, new bushings, greased everything. And you just tighten this down and it'll press the bushings in. Good news, everyone. Our hinges are installed. Let me give a review of the tools required. It's more than just a 9/16 socket. We had a drill to run all of our wire wheels. We had our hammer to convince the pins to go in and out. It also, and this punch also convinced some of the bushings to go in and out. This one helped to get the bushing started. We made this tool from leftover aftermarket air cleaner. It pressed the bushings in. I have this wrench I've been using over and over again. I ground it down to make it thinner. I know that's sacrilegious, but it helped to get underneath the little lip when the bushing didn't want to come out. Kind of helped a little bit. Also the vice grips, get a grip on those broken bushings. The wrenches help with our special tool. That had enough clearance for the bushing to go inside and not interfere. Our air hammer. Now, I ended up using two different bits for our air hammer. You saw earlier in the video, hit the pins from the bottom with this big fat one, and boom, they popped right up. It was awesome. Now to put them back in, I was able to use this one on the bottom hinge to put it back in, but on the top hinge, I had to stop because the lack of clearance here. So I went ahead and put this bit on, and you'll say, hey, that's not a hammer bit. However, I put that right in the center of the pin, and the pin just needed to go in a fraction inch to make sure it was flush. Worked like a champ. Lithium grease, everything. Wire wheel, everything. The inside where you see rust, outside of where the pins go. I used this 1/4 inch drive is optional. The reason I use this one is to, once they're loose, I can run them out. Once they're started with my hand, I can run them in. I went final with the 3/8 drive. Now, this is why I have two sockets. This short one, the bolt stuck out enough that it gave me the ability to put some pressure on it while I was trying to bring it in from the back to the hinge. This one worked well when I'm taking it off because the bolt, as it loosened up, it went inside the socket. So that's what the intent of that was. And these two, if you remember, this is how we got the spring of the hinge off. Always need a light. Our parts for the next one. If something else comes up with the next one, I'll add it to this video. Thank you for joining me.